Hey guys, Ben here and welcome back to another video on The Flash Season 9. We have a very exciting video to make because we just got the announcement of 3 major characters coming back to The Flash in its final season. Some of them are crossovers, some of them are characters from the past. So if you do go on to enjoy this video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment, subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos later this year. So this is my second video of the new year, and this is a very exciting video for me to make, but also to deliver the news to you guys, because this announcement comes at a time where we are all looking forward to the Flash's final season, and we've had a trailer so far. It was like a 30-second promo, plus we had some photos and the synopsis for the season being released. But then recently, since then, we haven't had anything. So we're all looking forward to it, and we're all waiting eagerly to hear about when the next trailer is going to drop, or when the next thing is going to come out, because even right now behind the scenes they are having a break because of the holidays. So that's why we've had a dry patch recently, but things are kicking into gear and you guys are not going to want to miss out on any of my coverage, because we're going to be covering the entire final season of The Flash, obviously with reviews coming out right after every episode airs on Wednesday nights. But for now, let's go ahead and go through this TV Line article. So it goes like this. This is where things start getting emotional, folks. The Flash has announced a trio of returning characters / actors for its 9th and final season, which premieres Wednesday, February 8th, 2023. And they include series veteran Kenan Lonsdale as Wally West, aka Kid Flash, also due for encores, and all appearing in the Farewell Run's 9th episode are Arrow alum David Ramsey as John Diggle / Spartan, and Sendil Ramamurthy as Season 6 baddie Ramsey Russo, aka Bloodwork. So there you have it, guys. That is the official announcement that Kenan Lonsdale is back as Wally West, aka Kid Flash, which was obviously what Kenan was teasing yesterday. I actually made a video on that. I'm sure most of you guys watched that yesterday, because Kenan did that tweet and obviously he knew about this announcement coming, and so that definitely kicked off what was leading into this article being released. So this is obviously very exciting to hear official confirmation that Wally West is coming back, at least for 1 episode. And so they confirmed that Wally is actually going to be appearing in the final season's 9th episode. Now, I don't know if that's the episode that they're filming right now, or have they done it already. I really don't have any information. However, it's weird to see that they have specified in this press release that they are all coming back in this 1 episode, and it's going to be specifically episode 9. And why I say it's weird is they don't normally specify stuff like this when they are announcing characters returning. So I think what we can infer from this is going to be a fairly important episode. Now, I don't know if it's just, a nostalgic episode where we go back and we see various characters from the past, or is it going to be actually a very significant episode in terms of the final season story? I think with the return of Ramsey Russo, aka Bloodwork, that is obviously going to be a callback to recent seasons, and having David Ramsey's John Diggle show up is another curious thing, because he's obviously been very much so tied to the Arrowverse as of late. But we'll talk about them in a minute. But I mainly want to focus just for now on Kenan Lonsdale and the likelihood of that just being like a 1 episode thing. I think it totally could be. And this, like I said, could be a bigger episode than a normal episode, because they are teasing that all 3 of these characters are showing up. So it definitely could be like a 1 and done for Kenan Lonsdale and Wally West. Like, it might be his farewell episode, but there's always the chance that he does a Bart and Nora and like stick around for a couple more episodes, if not just like 1 more episode for a scene or 2, because that obviously doesn't need to take up so much time if they just want him to like cameo for 1 or 2 scenes in the next episode. But let's move on to talk about David Ramsey's John Diggle / Spartan, who is officially going to be coming back in the Flash's final season. We all presumed this would happen, considering how involved David Ramsey is in the Arrowverse as of recently, like I said before, and that is because he's been directing a lot of the shows, and he is directing more Superman and Lois this season as well. Plus, he is supposedly still developing a spin-off show off of Arrow, which is Justice U, and obviously he's a big deal, plus he's around, so he makes pretty much one of the easiest characters slash actors that they could have got back on the show. But what makes it more interesting for me is the fact that David Ramsey has been so adamant on the idea of Superman and Lois being set up as this clean slate, and this being the future for the Arrowverse, especially for his new show Justice U. But then now he is returning to the Flash as John Diggle, so this is going to be presumably the Arrow version of John Diggle, which obviously does not show up on Superman and Lois, which has been heavily emphasized by David Ramsey, by Todd Helbing, the showrunner of Superman and Lois. So this is supposedly going to be the last time that we see the true original Arrow version of John Diggle. So note that down, that is very important, and that will make it different from any appearance of David Ramsey in Superman and Lois, because that version is obviously a new version of the character that was born out of Superman and Lois's new Superverse. So it's interesting, I would say, from my standpoint, that Sendil Ramamurthy is coming back as the big bad of season 6 Bloodwork, because he obviously was a big deal and he was teased as being released recently. Now I don't remember exactly the episode that actually happened in, but it's vivid in my memory, and I was expecting him to come back actually sooner than this. But I guess it's good news for Bloodwork fans to see him return in the final season. Obviously he's not everyone's number one villain that you want to see back. Definitely up on the list is Reverse Flash, Zoom, and possibly even Savitar. But then I would say Bloodwork is like the next one after that. I don't think anyone wants to think back apart from the few people that like him. So I'm not entirely surprised that he's coming back for the final season, especially since he was an Eric Wallace creation and he likes to bring back a lot of his characters. Just look at the Forces in the most recent graphic novel showing up again. But I think it's a curious mix bringing back Keenan Lonsdale as Wally West / Kid Flash, as well as David Ramsey as John Diggle / Spartan, and also Sendil coming back as Bloodwork. It's just a weird mix, like it's not a mix that you would expect, so that makes me question what is happening in this episode. And I'm going to read Eric Wallace's statement on the three of them coming back, and let's see if it gives us some more light into the situation in episode 9 of season 9. So this is what Eric Wallace had to say. As one of the legacy Arrowverse characters who helped start it all, John Diggle holds a special place in our hearts as well as the fans. Plus the commanding presence and commitment to excellence actor / director David Ramsey brings to the screen each and every time is truly inspiring. So of course it was a no-brainer to have Diggle join Team Flash in our final season, so get ready for a very emotional reunion as John Diggle aka Spartan helps protect Central City alongside Team Flash one last time. So there you go, that is the official statement as to John Diggle being back in the show, played by David Ramsey. So obviously this was like a no-brainer. As Eric does explain, he is a legacy Arrowverse character, and he is one of the original Arrowverse characters because he was, you know, a main character on Arrow, which is the show that started it all. And so, like he said, it's a no-brainer to have him back, and apparently it's going to be a very emotional reunion. So I wonder how long it's been in terms of real time, because the last time we saw John Diggle on The Flash was their way of concluding his Green Lantern story. So I wonder if they've moved on from that, and will this time be specifically just about them reuniting to help stop a threat from destroying Central City, which is obviously teased by Eric Wallace in this statement. And why is it so emotional? Is there something big that's going to happen? Well, it would seem that's what he is referring to and hinting towards. We'll just have to wait and see what he exactly means, but that's very exciting. So let's move on to Keenan Lonsdale. So regarding Lonsdale's first appearance since the middle of season 6, Wallace noted, Kid Flash isn't just another speedster. He's a beloved part of our Team Flash family, so as soon as we knew he was coming back, we set out to create a special and heartfelt story for his return. The result is a brilliant performance from Keenan that showcases a side of Wally you've never seen before. So actually that gives us the answer as to if they've shot this episode, because by Eric's statement, he is inferring that they've already shot this and he's already seen Keenan's great performance. So maybe a lot of this has been done away from the streets, and that's why you haven't seen any behind the scenes photos of Keenan Lonsdale back as Kid Flash. And obviously they're trying to keep all of this under wraps so that they can release it themselves as a press release, just like this. But obviously not everything happens like that, and you get leaks like Red Death coming to the show. So it's nice to get a surprise. So I'm happy that they released this like this, because fans are very excited, including myself. And so apparently we're going to be seeing a side of Wally that we've never seen before, and his return is going to be a special and heartfelt story. So it seems like a lot of emotions in this episode, because he's teasing a emotional reunion for both Kid Flash and Spartan, aka Wally West and John Diggle, showing up in the exact same episode. And so yeah, we're going to see a new side of Wally West. I'm very excited to see what that is. I don't know if it's going to be anything too crazy, but it's definitely going to be a special episode, because it's going to be the last time that we see these two characters on The Flash. Okay, let's move on to talk about Bloodwork. So he was last seen in late season 6 when even McCulloch's Mirrorverse minions tracked him down in his Argus containment cell to claim a drop of his blood for reasons. Ever since Sendil, and this is Eric Wallace speaking, turned in such a brilliantly haunting and unforgettable performance as the tortured Ramsey Rosso / Bloodwork in season 6, we've been looking for a way to bring him back. We also knew we wanted to have Ramsey play a part in the Flash's final race. Fortunately, everything came together, and now the villainous Bloodwork's return will set into motion one of the Flash's wildest and most emotional adventures yet. So there you have it, another emotional part of this episode. So he's actually teasing a lot more here. He's saying that with the return of Bloodwork, it's going to set in motion the Flash's final race. We don't know what his final race is going to be against specifically, but presumably the big bad of the second graphic novel of the final season. Also, it could lead up towards Reverse Flash and potentially the final race of Barry going back in time, which we are obviously expecting. Don't know if it's exactly going to play out like we think, but that's kind of the story that we're imagining for the ending of the show, because this isn't just the end of the season, this is the end of the show. And so now everything has come together, they've got Bloodwork back, and it's going to set into motion that one of the Flash's wildest and most emotional journeys yet. So what do you guys think about that? That is obviously very exciting to see all of these characters back, and the fact that they are all factoring into the Flash's final race as Eric Wallace is teasing. So what do you guys think that final race is going to be? We have another thing we have to break down before we end this video, and this is the poster that they released alongside this press release, and this is the first poster of season 9, and it's a very exciting one. In fact, it's probably one of the most creative posters they've created in a very long time, because as you guys know, the Flash has had some pretty average posters in recent years, because they just really haven't put in the effort to make cool posters. They're just like average heads stuck on heads, and you've seen it if you've got like the Blu-ray or anything like that, or you've seen any poster, they're just pretty boring. So this is exciting. It says the final run, and you have Barry's golden boots on the ground, and they are coursing with lightning. Lightning is going everywhere, but there is no Barry. He has disappeared. And I like this poster, and I like what it infers about the Flash's final run. It's that maybe he's going to run so fast that he's going to disappear. Maybe Barry's going to die, and maybe he's not going to be existing anymore. But also in a kind of metaphorical level, maybe Barry's running so fast that he has disappeared from this poster, and he's just too quick to be seen by our eyes. Obviously you can interpret this as you want, but we can all agree that this is a very cool final poster, and it's very, very creative. So once again, the Flash's final season is going to be airing February 8th, 2023. That is a Wednesday, and it begins at 8/7 Central on the CW. And as I said earlier, we're going to be making videos on the Flash's final season as the season airs. Each episode, obviously we'll talk about the trailers, we'll talk about the promo photos, the synopsises for every single episode in the final season. So please be sure, if you are a Flash fan, don't go anywhere. Turn on notifications if you haven't so you're notified about all my uploads to do with The Flash. Plus, subscribe if you're new. And for now, if you did enjoy it, please be sure to leave a like and a comment. It really helps out the channel. Also, if you want to support even further, you can become a member by clicking the join button. It's pretty much YouTube's version of Patreon. Plus, I have merchandise. A lot of you guys have been getting merchandise, and I want to give a shout out to everyone that's bought merch so far from my store, because you're really helping out the channel in a different way. But what's best about it is you get something back. You get some very cool clothing items, obviously with the DCTV show on it. And so yeah, shout out to you guys that have been supporting by getting merch. But for now, you can click on the top right corner of the screen to watch my latest video, and I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.
I see red.